make it.
What is it?
We're going to call it Hawkeye's Revenge. And what we're going to do is we're going to take off from like Ben Gurion or something on the Med in Israel. We're going to fly over. There's going to be moving convoys that spawn in succession that are going to attack something in the West Bank, and Apaches have to find them and destroy them. We could have some A-10s and Harriers for CAS, and then we've also got a long airstrike into Iran, all the way on the east side of that map, to bomb, some manufacturing facilities. And then you could even throw in, if you wanted to, some 16 seed work down in Sinai, in some of those pre-made hardened bunkers. You could throw an S-200, an S-300 or something down there and spice it up for them.
You'll have to write it out for me. Let's see. Do Afghanistan.
And it would be on one of the Israel maps. There's two of them, I think, now, isn't there?
Well, Syria has northern Israel, and then Sinai has all of Israel.
Which one has Iran? To the east.
So Afghanistan and Persian Gulf.
But neither of them have Israel. I guess the question is, do we have a map that has any part of Iran and Israel?
Nope.
No. Nope.
Okay, then we'll use the one that has northern Iran, because it'll also have Lebanon, parts of southern Lebanon, and we can strike. We could strike Iran in southern Lebanon on their proxies.
Yeah.
That would work.
I think, yeah, you'll just have to write it out a template for me.
Yeah, I'll write it out and message it to you. That's no big deal.
I think we're waiting on Twitch.
And we could call it Hawkeye's Revenge, like those convoys are going to get Hawkeye.
Yeah. Tonight I'm building a helicopter mission that's going to be snatch and grab VIP target going into Pakistan from Kandahar.
Okay.
I'm going to make it from scratch, though.
Give me a second. Let me switch over to
Yeah, we're waiting on Twitch.
Okay. I'll be right back.
Popper, is there anything I can show you real quick that you're interested in before we get started?
I'm just gonna watch, and then at the end I'll have questions probably.
Copy that.
No one won the dogfight tonight.
Dax is going to be doing that.
No one's filming.
Are you live streaming this?
Yes.
I'll behave.
Yes, please.
No problem. I don't want to get you de-advertised.
Let's see. Yeah, Kandahar.
I think the UN should be involved with black sharks. Just a thought.
It's nighttime, though.
I want a KA-52.
Just need a good NVG clear mod for the Black Shark.
Well, that's the 52, basically. It's basically the same chopper. There is somebody doing a 52 mod. Just like there's somebody doing a Cobra mod, you know?
Right. So this is the Pakistan border. Just kind of scouting a location for a compound. Like I'm checking altitude, like trying to see if how level the ground is. I'm just marking some potential target locations. So I'm looking for something that's got walls, little building, and then we've got areas to land helicopters that's kind of flat. I need some like elevator music.
Hey, nerd tech.
What'd you set there?
Where?
The red.
So these are just static traffic cones. I'm marking potential targets. So if we're doing like a special forces snatch and grab, like a reenactment of a raid on a compound, grabbing a high value target. So I'm looking for somewhere with flat area that the helicopters can land that's kind of even newbie friendly. and then I'll
VRS is a real thing.
yeah. Well, I don't want it's so the Chinooks, it's easy for them to hit fucking trees. And so when they hit a tree and they damage something, it doesn't fly right and it crashes on takeoff. So I'm trying to keep that in mind. So like there's a good amount of space right here to land. Uh, the Gazelles can land like in here or something, and you could take a little compound building like this. It's got walls around it. So you can do like this one, you could do a entry charge on this gate and
Right.
do scenery destroy around this and then have them enter. And then you have other buildings for guys to pop up on, like guy with a gun, AK
Right.
roof.
Right. AK infantry.
Yeah. So now my deal is where's the nearest airport and how far is it? So
Right. What's your distance to Kandahar?
82 miles or 82 clicks.
2 clicks. That's a trip.
So
And
ideally,
you have mountains to go over too.
not necessarily. This is all flat. And this is only like 1,200, 1,300 feet. So essentially, my thoughts were to have the Chinooks pilot us from Kandahar to here.
Put
Set
in a
up a
FARP at the
fob,
end of the road.
put in, so like right here, put up a little FARP with the Apaches, Hueys, and whatever
Gazelles.
other helicopters, Gazelles. So we can ride essentially if I have guys that have the Chinook, they will ride with the Chinook pilots in. We would get to here, pick up uh, whatever we need to, troop wise. I can put troops here. And then we can hop out on in our appropriate helicopters. And then it's 36 clicks or 40, 35, 40. And then do our operation. This would be so for like the Apaches, this would be rockets and guns. It wouldn't be Hellfires.
Right.
Depending on where I choose to put these though. So like if we do this one and I have a bunch of open ground, I'll have an Apache or two back here, about 5 clicks out with Hellfires, right? Hellfires and rockets. Have two more Apaches and or Hueys, depending on what we get signed up, dropping the teams off to do the capture here. So when the teams get dropped off and start going in the compound and we make noise, like when we have the entry breach, I would start having technicals, or well, first I would start having infantry coming out from these surrounding buildings like two at a time and opening like or going towards the compound, and then start sending technicals out as the infantry get taken out. Have technicals coming out of these different villages, and then the Apaches with the Hellfires could engage, spawn in different troops in these close by buildings to spawn in and start firing towards the compound. It's not might not be super realistic, but it makes for the good mission. So now what I'll do is put down a invisible fart. Let's see.
Why invisible instead of visible?
Should we this all flat? So for now, one, I'm just marking this point.
I'm
But
just curious what your thinking was.
I'm gonna build a small little pad. So night missions, right? When you're in the Apache in the night missions and you're trying to land and you're using your Penvis, you can look through the nose of the cockpit, right? The landing pad, like if I do this, this is like lava hot in Fleer.
Okay.
So it's really bright to land on at night for the Apaches. Um, I might put one there. I might put one of these in the corner for the Chinooks to land on, and then the Apaches will spawn in out here. And I'll put our troops over here. So essentially, let's see, it's almost 9. I got 5 more minutes, and I'm gonna really start getting into the waypoints, and we're gonna put troops down. So I'm going to do the special forces team first and set up the wall breach, and then I'll start setting up like the platoon of 75th Rangers or some type of uh, infantry outfit to do backup. Because what I'll do on the compound, right? I'll have a wall breach. The special forces guys will go in, and then we'll have Chinooks drop off like a ranger chalk or two, and they'll go around the perimeter or go over here. They'll kind of set up security. I always set them to immortal. It's easier, it's better to set them to immortal, especially if they're trigger dependent and you're requiring them to trigger certain actions. Make them immortal so that they don't die and your triggers don't work. I guess we'll use that. Let's see this. I pick this one.
That's a big
You
ass
don't want,
town.
yeah, and you don't want to do it like in here and stuff because that's hard to find. If we're going in, like if I'm in a Gazelle, I can't put a signal flare right here. We're gonna have to find it, be able to find it at night.
Is there a way to do some sort of what? And I don't know if we can do this, but what if we had a drone overhead painting it with IR laser?
Yeah.
Is that something we have the capability to do in the editor?
Yes, I'm pretty sure we do, but I've never done it. I know you can set up the drones to laze targets for you.
Well,
And
there
then
you
I
go,
know
because we can
you
see the
can,
lasers in infrared in night vision.
you can set up the Iowas to get the video footage from the drones.
Right. So then all you got to do is paint a target. And
Well,
that's
what?
something we haven't done yet because doesn't night vision and FLIR and all that, don't they see that? I've seen it in the Hornet.
Yeah, some of them we can see, like I can see the A10s.
Right.
So one thing is if we have the option to do so instead of using a drone, we'll have a Kiowa on station. So if we have a FARP back here, the Kiowa would start here while we transport from Kandahar. Have the Kiowa already here, have the Kiowa get on station, let's say, the Kiowa can be 9 clicks out, 8 clicks out. It can laze from 8 clicks out. So we'll have the Kiowa get on station first, get eyes on, uh, and yeah, that could work.
Just something different. You don't have to do it, obviously.
Right. Well, I'd like having the Kiowa in there. You're right. They can laze the house for us. I'm gonna
Is there a
use this.
longbow option on there
What do you mean?
for the Apaches
Yes.
where they can laze and all that same thing as the Kiowa, just because it's the Apaches are faster?
Well, yeah. Well, but if I have someone that has wants to fly the Kiowa, I'll put the Kiowa in there. But yeah, the Apache can sit and laze too. Because if we have 4 Apaches, I'll have 2 Apaches out here with Hellfires, and we'll have 2 Apaches flying escorting with weapons for close contact. And that way we're covered. Because mission wise, I'll send technicals out of here at some point. But yeah, I might even put the Kiowas closer, but I think 40 clicks, that would give them enough to something to do as we're flying in the Chinooks. All right, it's 9 o'clock. I'm gonna go ahead and get making this stuff. So I'm gonna do our SOF Team. I'll just do one. Infantry. Man, the 40 command, immortal. So on the special guys that I'm triggering, like these guys are going to actually trigger different things. I'm going to do immortal. I'm going to do invisible. And there's reasons why. And then set option, rules of engagement, weapons, hold. Because that's not going to be all of them. It's just going to be these couple of guys, right?
You're gonna name them DevGru1.
Yes.
What does that stand for?
Dev group. That's like SEAL Team 6. So on the commands though, immortal, so they don't die, right? In case someone cuts their heads off with a helicopter, trying to pick them up or drop them off or crash. Because that's another thing in this mission. I'm going to set backup procedures. So if the riskiness with transporting troops that are going to trigger things is actually I'm going to show you how we do this anyways. So we're not going to transport these guys. We are going to spawn these guys in because these are going to be the 4 guys I drop off in a Gazelle. So if I'm going to drop off right here, I'm going to put these guys right here. I'm going to take this cone, Control C, Control V, change this to a neutral coalition. So there's my drop off cone. I'm going to change that to a tire. So that's just a tire. When I come in and land in the Gazelle, I know to land near this tire, and this guy's going to spawn right here.
So you're setting a trigger zone by the tire.
Yes. So, well, no, I'm setting the group to spawn in. So this is a simulated transport. I can't embark troops in a Gazelle. So this is how I simulate it. I'm going to add a group here at the compound, and I'm going to add another group that runs and gets in my helicopter and despawns. So for now, this is how you do it to where if you don't have a helicopter you can disembark with, you can do it like this. 2, if you are worried about the helicopter going down on the way in and killing all your guys that are triggering stuff, this is a way to prevent that, just a workaround. So there's home dude 1. We're going to have him run up to this gate, and I'm going to set hold. Set option. I'm going to add a new waypoint action. Set option. Form task. Hold. Stop condition. Duration. 0 that out. Do 10 seconds. Add another waypoint. Let's have him fall back over here. And then I'm not going to do anything there. I'm going to set this one. Hold on. Oops. So add another one right here. Into here. Into here. So here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to add a trigger zone. 50 feet. Nope, 250. So I'm going to make a trigger zone entry. So that's Special Forces entry. I'm going to change this little cone to a landmine. That's alphabetical. Sorry. I'm going to put this there. This is 001. True. Okay, so I rename that so the unit name is matches, right? So now we're going to go over here to our action. Oh, I'm sorry, one more trigger zone. So 2. So now I'm making a zone that's going to take out the wall. Put this back over here. Okay, so now we're going to go to our actions and conditions. New action, new trigger, SOF entry. We're going to go down to part of group in zone. So what we're doing here is the Special Forces guy is going to go into the SOF entry zone. And when he does, we're going to set this. This is our condition. He's going to go in the zone. This is our action. So essentially, I'm making, when this guy goes here, he's going to hold for 10 seconds. Then when he runs back into this zone, it's going to detonate and destruct the wall. So we do, this is the one to detonate the static. Part of group and zone, dev group 1, SOF entry. Group action, explode unit. Click on unit, the SOF entry. So that's the landmine. We're going to take this down from 1,000. 1,000 will vaporize everybody around the house. Put this to 1. And this is also why you set your team to immortal, because that's as low as you can go, and it will still kill them pretty close range. So now we're going to do a new one. We're going to do, let's see. Unit, let's do this. Unit damage, SOF entry 1. So our unit that I'm setting as a condition, unit damaged, is the landmine. And I'm going to do a new action, scenery disruption zone. So this little zone right here, special entry 2, I'll destroy it 100%. Okay, always remember to save. Anytime you make something like that, just save it. Oh, and see, I got to manipulate the waypoints to get him closer to the wall.
And he's not going into your trigger zone either.
He is. He's holding for 10 seconds. He's going to place the charge. Yeah. Now, see, it took out that whole wall. All right, dude, come on. There's nobody out there. Or is there, or did I leave a red cone? Maybe. Beat this up. There we go.
I wish the AI did foot soldiers better.
They're working on it. Okay. So now I know I need to manipulate waypoint 1 where it's a little bit closer I've got him pretty down pretty good, so that's not terrible. So now we're gonna make his other three teammates. So I'm gonna click on him, Control C, Control V, and this guy is going to run over here. Yeah, leave that waypoint. So I'm gonna put a hold right here. So hold stop condition. I'm gonna do user is flag user. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna go make an action now on my stop condition. So this second guy is gonna go over here and hold, right? In my stop condition, I've done user flag 1. So now I'm gonna go and make an action in here under this one. So scenery destruction, unit damage, the explosion, right? So I'm gonna make a new action right here out on this cause. So when this is when this happens, we're gonna do people watching will have to bear with me a little. Let's see. Flag on. So flag 1. So now when this blows up, it's gonna send the flag 1 up, and this teammate is gonna go over here until it's clear. So this will blow up, send the flag, and when the flag goes up, this teammate will then move in. So let's see. 2. Point. Put him going in here. That. Okay. Because they don't all need to run to the gate, right? This guy's gonna go plant the charge. This guy's gonna stay back. That may be as close as I'd be able to get him to the wall. There we go. Now that's that. And he should run in here shortly. There. So he goes over there, but he goes over to the other house. So now we're going to do 2 more guys. They're going to do the outside perimeter. Pretty simple. Control highlight the second guy. Control C. Control V. This guy is going to go over here. We'll put him stand guard out. I don't need that. Don't need that. All right, so hold, edit. So make sure this is all the same. Users flag 1. So
That too close to the is waypoint 1 too close to the explosion?
No, he's gonna hold right here at waypoint 1.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Is
But
1 too close?
If he was an immortal, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
So I've got one more to do. I'll do Control C, Control, and I'm gonna put this guy down here, this corner. So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got 4 guys. All right. Manipulate this a little bit more, see if it helps. Yeah, I gotta move that. I gotta move that one guy. You notice I put the waypoints out here, and they don't exactly go to them. And you see how sometimes it makes fire and sometimes it doesn't?
Right.
It's so inconsistent. Okay, so backyard guys there. 1, 2, 3. And this guy never moved. So
Yeah, I think he got blown the fuck up.
yeah. Essentially, you can just manipulate the waypoints here and there and hopefully get them to where you want them. So tell you what, we're gonna move these guys further away. They'll go over here. Move this in a little bit. Maybe he'll stay right outside the gate. Move this down. Move that a little bit further away. Can do it out here. Because it doesn't matter where this is. This could be on the other side of the map, and when it blows up, it's gonna still crumble the wall. So Control S. All right, so before we test this, what I'm gonna add now, I'm gonna go ahead and set all these guys to late activation. Hold on. One thing I'm gonna do is set here this initial waypoint heading. So click on initial, and I'm gonna face them all south, or yeah, south. So I made this was in the mission that we did in the Gazelles, right? Where you were with me and we dropped them off in the compound.
Mhm.
This was how I had it set up pretty much. So they just spawned in right here. I landed in the compound right next to the tire and they spawned in right there. So now we're going to set late activation on all these guys. All right, now I need to set down a helicopter. So I'm going to go out here to the fob. I'm going to set down a Gazelle. Let's do 001. Or actually, no, we'll do one. Gun. Sorry. So there's that minigun. Go in here. Always drop down the fuel. 60%. Change this. So on the Gazelle, you can't change this. It's stuck on 124. And so the radios default to 243 UHF and 124 and then 30 FM on when you're putting Gazelles down. So if I'm doing a flight group, sometimes I'll set all the Apaches and stuff and I'll use 243 and 124 and 30 FM. It's just a little bit easier. I don't know why the other night I couldn't change the radio in the Gazelle, the UHF radio. It would like nothing was clicking. So go back here to parking ground hot, set direction. Okay, so now I have this. I'm going to go over here to triggers again. I'm adding a radio comms menu item to spawn the entry team. So I'll do this. Oh, you don't need anything in this third condition. So you set a new trigger and then go all the way to actions and go down to
Spawn.
radio item for group. And the group's going to be the Swordbirds 1. Name SOF entry. Team. Oops, TEE. Team. And so I've already used flag 1, so I can't use flag 1, so I'm going to switch that to flag 2. So now I'm going to come down here. I'm going to clone it. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to add condition. Flag is true. We're going to do flag 2. And we're going to do group activate. That group 1. And then just clone 2, clone 3, clone 4. And for anybody watching, there's probably easier ways to do this. This is just how I figured out how to do it. So now we're going to go ahead and fly mission.
I think the only people that are watching are me and TX Fighter Gaming.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, what's up, Texas Fighter? Yeah, he's in the OG Discord. I'm sorry, I didn't see the chat. I don't think he's watching anymore. So 0 viewers. It's okay.
Oh, mine says 2 messages. I'm still viewing on my phone.
Oh, this is
It says 3 watching.
okay. All right, so we're gonna get in the minigun. I'm gonna judge my graphics. This is on the laptop. So F12. F12. All right, there's our timer. So we're in the minigun. Do hit it, go to our menu, other SOF entry team. Bam. Let's see if those waypoints adjusted at all. Yeah, those guys are running out further. Okay, okay. There. Perfect. That's what I want. I want fire. Because the fire looks very bright in the Apache fleers when they're watching this. Okay, yeah, fighter's still here. It's weird my stream stats just aren't showing up properly for me. Yeah, so there we go. Okay, so we got that down. Now, something super simple. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna change this to 0, 1. I'm going to place a group down right here. So this is going to be my starting group, right? I'm going to do late activation. Actually, let's do this a different way. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1. Let's try it. I have them run down here. Set a hold. Stop condition. User is flag 30.
And then you'll set flag 3 for an embarkment radio call.
No, because I want to save my flags. Let's just do this. These guys are going to be
But you can't load 3 guys on a Gazelle. You just simulating at this point.
Yeah, so here's what I'm going to do. Burn. Three. Oh, wait, no. Oh, so what am I doing? I used 1, right?
You used 2 also.
1 and 2, okay. So 3, 4, 5, group. Group deactivate. 2, 1. So pretty simple now. When I'm on the ground, I just go into comms menu and hit the other one, and it'll just deactivate that group. So sometimes the simpler the better. I'm gonna get a little bit more complicated and other stuff. This can be simple. The Chinook Rangers will be groups that they're gonna actually disembark. So there's my team. I know this doesn't look super realistic, but that's a mission start. Okay, they're gone. Okay. So now we're going to set up our Ranger chalks. My question is, do I want to load the Rangers out at Kandahar? Or do I want to load them out at the FOB? That means I have to have Chinooks land here. So if I have the Chinooks, and this is no offense to anybody's flying school, if I have to have Chinooks fly here to here and pick up guys here, there's a probability or a risk of crashing here.
Don't they have to land there to unload the pilots to pick up the other aircraft anyway?
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. So
I'm not trying to be fair.
let's say we're gonna have them land across here. 002. Ranger 1. Oh, that's helicopter. 002. And you'll see as I make more and more actions why I label stuff certain ways with serial numbers. So I'll put these guys down here. So first thing we do, and these guys we're not going to make invisible because we want them to get engaged, but we don't want them to get killed. So that's all I can do for right there. Let's just do 1, 2, 3. So 12. Let's just even that number out. This is kind of the tedious part.
I hate that part.
I just get them generally in line, and then I zoom in. I just want them I want them to stay in order. Okay. Like copy, paste, copy, paste. Yeah, one of the ideas too is you can have a couple chalks where, say, if we happen to get 3 Chinooks, right? One of them, the third Chinook or even fourth Chinook, can load troops here. They don't necessarily have to disembark them on site. If for some reason we have a mechanical function or one of the Chinooks goes down, we'll have 1 or 2 Chinooks that can drop down and drop backup guys off. So that's just a kind of a note too. All right, so we're gonna do this. Now I need to add my Chinooks, or at least one of them. Go here to the heliport. Do shore flight heavy. 47. Take off from parking. I'm still gonna go in here and defuel this thing to about 60%. Change it to sand because I like the sand. Load it out. So they can embark and disembark troops while the tail gunner is on. If I'm correct, I may not be, but they can't do cargo when you have a tail gunner. We'll do radio 243. I'll go in here. I'll do 30 FM 243, and then I'll do 31. All right, so all that is set. I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 of them. Add waypoint. Take off landing and refueling. So I'll use the invisible FARPs as well as these, and you can snap the helicopter, do landing refueling, and even on the invisible ones, it'll snap the waypoint. So I'm gonna kind of make a secondary waypoint down here. Here. Let me just do some. So I'm gonna do back to here.
Question that I'm sure you're not even up to yet, but on this FARP right here that you're on waypoint 1, you do have to add a Hemet truck and everything else, ultimately, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. I'll go ahead and delete that waypoint for now. So waypoint 1. All right, I have my Chinook. I'm gonna go back to my troops. Go to add, perform task, embark to transport. Vehicle type, CH-47. So, and you can change this, whatever you set this to, and some of this you'll know, Turd. Whatever you set this to, if the Chinook would have to land inside this circle, right? Okay.
And then they'll
So,
automatically embark as soon as he touches down.
no. So when they touch down, this is when you do the disembark F10 menu, like when you trigger it, do the airborne troops. I'm sorry, not F10.
Oh,
When
so you don't have to set triggers now.
This is how you set embarking, disembarking. So
Oh,
if
I've always built triggers and done it the old-fashioned way. I didn't realize there was a shortcut like this. Okay.
so on the infantry group, I have to do an embark to transport task. I have to select the aircraft. Now, here's where we go to the waypoint for the aircraft. Waypoint, add, perform task, embarking, and then I'm going to add the Rangers. So now this will give the Chinook comms menu airborne troops option to embark 75th Rangers 1.
I've always done it the hard way by going to conditions and everything else and setting
So
triggers.
these guys will be here already, right? These guys will already be spawned in, and when it lands and he hits the airborne troops, they'll run to wherever he's at. If he parks anywhere in the circle, yeah.
Got it. Way easier.
If you're worried about resource usage, what you could do is you could late activate this group, right? So we're going to do late activation. I'm going to set a trigger zone to
You could also just set a trigger that Chinook altitude is 0 too.
It's going to do it like this. It's not necessarily for them to spawn in when he's there, but as he's flying in, they'll spawn in so that they're not like if we have 10 groups for like a big transport mission.
Right.
So essentially now I can do despawn, but I can do late activation, and when I can set an action to where the Chinook flies into here, it'll spawn these guys and they'll be ready. We'll go into that on another night. All right, so now I'm going to take, if you have these guys here and the first tasking is embark to transport, they'll stay here. So now I'm going to add waypoint at the LZ. So theoretically, if the Chinook's going to land here, I'm going to have waypoint 1 for these guys right here, and it's going to be off-road. And then I'm going to put another waypoint here. I'll do V. So now when you land right here, so sorry guys, I'm getting ahead of myself. On the Chinook waypoint, we're gonna add another one. Perform task, disembarking, 75th Rangers add. So now the Chinook lands here, he'll go into his comms menu, he'll have disembarking airborne troops, and he'll disembark them. When they unload, they'll look to this waypoint, and then they'll go here and they'll fan out, and they'll stop, and they're just gonna hold. So that's that. So we have that one, and we'll do one more group. This is the nice thing. So do this. So if I'm going to copy and paste these guys, I want to do it to as close as possible. So there's that. Move these guys for a second. All right, so there's Rangers number 2. I'm going to go down and move their waypoints around. Have these guys out here. So the reason I did a waypoint here and off-road and another waypoint extended so that they have a distance to where they'll fan out and get in position. Make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, Control S. Save. I can't really test that, but that's how I have that set up. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start setting up some of the bad guys.
You want to set up to the second Chinook. The second Chinook doesn't have embarking commands yet.
It's already in there. You go to bed.
For the
Oh,
first
yeah.
Chinook, not for Chinook 2.
It doesn't matter. The Chinooks are in the same group. So we'll
Okay.
test it. Oh, well, I don't think I can do it because
You can't, because the Chinooks would have to fly into that zone to trigger them.
Yeah.
Just go
But-
to second Chinook and see if those triggers are
So,
there.
yes, essentially, if you get into if they're all in the same group, if it's 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the group, they'll all have the same airborne troop options. That's why when we're running the mission, it's important to say, hey, I've got troops 1, 2, you get 3, 4, etc., etc. I should have waited. That was my bad. My bad, DCS. I hit exit before stuff was low. Oh, yeah. Sweet. Didn't freeze up. Okay. So now we're going to start doing bad guys, right? Let's go. Infantry, combined forces, insurgent AK. I'll do one here. Set it to high. Late activation. On task, fire, point. Altitude, we'll do 5 feet. Feet off. So then we'll put 1, 2. I like to do them in pairs. Oh, sorry, I'm missing a whole step. All right.
Why are you doing fire at point?
Sometimes they don't. If like say if there's an MRAP or a tank on the ground, they won't engage. So like I guess perceived threat or something. Sometimes they don't always engage, and also too, I don't always want the ground units to take them out. So what I'll do is I'll make all the ground units invisible and I'll set them to fire at points. That way air units can engage them. You know, if you have a bunch of guys spawn in around MRAP, it's going to eliminate all the guys pretty quickly. And then you're just kind of wasting targets. Your guys in the air don't have anything to shoot. One thing I forgot, I got to relabel it. So 003 red ambush. So place that guy down. Now I have it labeled properly. And this is important when I start making my triggers. So put one guy there, one guy here, and we'll do an RPG guy that's going to probably get shot in the face here. Late activation, perform task, fire point. And also too, they're out of the range. So like these guys, their firing range is out here, is right here, their limit. They're not going to engage anything over here because it's out of their range. So I have to make them fire at something. And that's why I kind of do a little altitude. That way they're not just shooting into the dirt or shooting the bullets are going to fly over the LZ most of the time. So late activation. So here's this. So we do one, Control C, Control V. So I'm going to set this little guy up here. Do this guy on top right here. Do this guy over here by the tree. Set their fire here. So now both of those are late activation. So here's what we're going to do now. Set a little trigger zone right here. And make it tiny. And so this is Dev Group 1, Ambush 1. So we're going to go make a new trigger. New. Part of group and zone. Dev Group 1, Ambush 1. Group activate. Red ambush 1, 12. Red ambush 2. Oh. Let's see how this goes. Make it dark. December. Dun. Get in my main gun. Turn my gamma up so we can see. Gamma. So back to the tire. SOF Entry Team. All right, there they spawn. I'm gonna let you go back. Pick it up a little bit. All right, now they're making entry. See, that worked out. The one guy comes and stands right here at the corner, so that's pretty good. Okay, so now, see, there we go. That's why I did like 5 feet of altitude, so the bullets, see, there's the RPGs. The bullets are zinging right over the top. And you gotta remember, the Rangers will be out here. So that reminds me, one thing we gotta try and do, I can't guarantee it'll Oh, one thing I can. So we'll do this. It's okay. Those guys will end up getting that. So there's that. That's pretty simple. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start a vehicle ambush.
I almost think you should have the Rangers run and engage those guys. That'd be cool to have a ground war happening at the same time. We've never done that.
Well, hold on. We're getting there. All right. So now I'm going to make, this is a weird way to make it. I'm going to make it. So I'm going to take me and make me a little predator drone. Let's see. I'm going to put it out of the way so it's not in. So I'm going to put a little predator drone right down here. Put a mat. Let me change this back. I'll put a team tab. I'm going to do waypoint up here. So we're going to come back to that. This is what we're going to use to trigger the rest of our ambush. So to end of these guys. These guys don't have to be. They're all probably get smoked. Do this one here. Control C. Here. It gets an AK. You get an AK. You get an AK. So it's 4. I think that's going to be. So now we do something here. Get rid of all these. And we're going to do a little technical. Okay. Late activation. Oh, did I not do that? Late activation. I always try and set it to begin with because then all the ones you copy will be late activation. The technical. Do one. Three. 4. We're going to set some waypoint. So we'll go to this first group. heading out across here to the waypoint there. V sky give to waypoint to right here. Press. Guys through the village. All right. See now. Okay. Save real quick.
What's their
Fire,
trigger to activate?
Fire, we're doing a special forces mission inside of Pakistan to retrieve a VIP target. So essentially a little snatch and grab. What was that, Turd?
What's their trigger to activate?
I'll get there. That's why we put the Predator down. So theoretically, I've done this differently in the past. The last couple missions I started, I don't want everything to spawn in at once. Like I don't want all these units to spawn in on one trigger. So I'm gonna set like a trigger zone for each one of these little units, groups, and they're gonna be in the pathway of the Predator. So as the
Got it.
Predator's flying, he's gonna be triggering them instead of like a timer. I'm weird. I know I can do these. I can do some of this stuff differently, but this kind of is the easiest for me. So technical, we'll have him drive into here. Oops. Technical, because these guys shouldn't get too far. We'll have Apaches. Okay. So I've got ambush 2, 2, 6, 7. Okay, so I got right. 3, 4, 7, 8. Okay, I got 8. 2, 2, 2. And I'm gonna go back over here to the Predator. Trigger zone. Oh, 2. Okay. Make it a little bit better. Okay, that's about 2, 3, 4, 6. So now we go here. 2. Group and zones. Do Predator. Predator drone trigger and 2 more. Group activate. 2. Clone. 2, 2. Clone. 2, 3. And you can probably do this differently, but it is a 4. So that's all set. So, like I said, as this thing flies through these zones, it'll trigger that stuff. So it doesn't all trigger at once. There's a slight delay. You don't have to put it on timers.
Understand, when do you spawn that drone?
So the drone is, let's do late activation. And we're going to go over here
I'm gonna
to,
spawn him on breach.
yep, scenery destruction flag on. No, we're going to do, what was it? Where did I, oh, so ambush one, dev group in ambush one zone. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this. Oh, predator trigger drone. All right, so now when our little entry guy goes into here and spawns in these two groups, it's going to spawn the predator, and the predator is going to start spawning these. Let's see.
Instead of just doing it a timer on every 3 minutes or 5 minutes.
Yeah, because I can visualize this. I don't know, call me weird, but
No, that's fine. I mean, I understand what you're doing. I wouldn't have done it that way, but I absolutely follow it.
yeah. And because also too, is I can use those zones and I can have multiple vehicle triggers. So the mission from Saturday night, that's what I had. I had 3 separate convoys driving through the same zones at different times. So like the one vehicle would drive through the zone first and trigger a set of ambushes, and then eventually a second unit would trigger and drive through those same trigger zones and trigger new ambushes. So
Right.
just go 10. Entry, please. One dude's going here. Boom. Landmine's gone. Construction popped up.
Zoom out.
So there's those. Predators rolling. There's the first group. Let's see the time. Fast forward a little bit. There's the second group. Like a couple minutes. Third.
And here's where frame rate drops.
Not necessarily. You're spawning them in sporadically. These guys aren't shooting either. Plus, it's nighttime. Oh, look at them all. See, now I gotta change that. I can't do that. They gotta be I gotta change them out to the guys that are walking. So
What's
I
wrong with
can't.
those guys?
See, my frame rate's at 180. So they're the different insurgents. I didn't put the right insurgents, so it's the guys on their knees. Just gotta gliding. All right, but you see that all work. My frame rate still. And this is on a 3060. Where'd everybody at? They're all 180. So that's what I forgot to check. When I placed the bad guys down, I placed these guys instead of these guys. Simple mistake. It's going to cost me a little bit of time. So I got to go back and fix it. Not that I'm going to make this mission, but I'm not going to make it to where it's all on video. I'll have to change things up. So, I mean, that's a simple snatch and grab. And you can add in more triggers here and spawn in more stuff. So essentially, if I had this predator flies here and then lands, I could set another one to spawn in on the last trigger, and then I can set a whole nother ambush. Like if I did ambush 3, I would just go and set the trigger zones up and just put another predator right here and have it fly through those same zones. But yeah, it may not be the most efficient way, but it works. I mean, it's efficient for me. So then the other part you would have to figure out is, now what do I do with all my fixed wings? What do we have for them to do? Right? Or I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's set up our Apaches. Say Apache pilot, take off. Oops, never mind. Take off from ground. Ending. Come on, DC. All right. Guys, so I'm going to set my radios again. 243. 133. So this will be close air support channel. Main comms for helos. 30 for helos. If we have warthogs, we'll put them on 30 FM. Inner flight 32 FM. So Apaches to Apache. I always try and do like a couple channels because sometimes I could be wrong that different aircraft will be on different presets, like the Kiowa. So then I go in and say these are going to be our Hellfire Apaches. I'll knock them down to 80% fuel. Do the Grim Reapers. Livery. Come down here. Mixed load. I've already just Texas mixed load. Hellfires. Famous kilo. Alright. So radio set. And then add waypoint. Gonna do a waypoint 1 for navigation. This is gonna be change metric. And do 5 clicks out. So it's all small arms, technicals. They're not gonna have the reach at 5-6 clicks out. So this is gonna be recon. This is gonna be battle station for the Apache. I'll go ahead and put one here. Landing, refueling. So eventually I'm going to delete that little invisible fart. But for now, it helps me keep the waypoints from moving or something happening to them. So that'll be that waypoint, and then I do get the and that's it for the Apaches. Now, once I get all the helicopters placed, I would build me a little. I would kind of put some statics and stuff down here to make a little fart. Oh, so you asked. So yes, I have to put supplies down here. This guy, in case they need to refuel. Of course, Murphy's Law. So perform command, mortal, invisible, and a little other set option. Disperse under fire. That way, if someone starts dropping bombs on the fob, they don't run off and run away from the invisible fob and and can't rearm refuel. It's always possible. Oh. Got those down. Now these guys won't die or won't move, so FARP should always work. 10 o'clock. So that's pretty much the helicopter side of it. That's just a simple snatch and grab. So now, if I have to have fixed wings do something, I got to figure out something to do for the fixed wings. In this case, maybe some precision strikes in these small villages, or send them up here to the mountains.
What about incoming convoys that are coming to mess with the snatch and grab?
Let's see.
You got a nice road there.
This is not a road.
Oh.
That's the border.
Got it.
So this is a main road. I tell you what. Let's see, that's not fully developed out here. Is that a road? What kind of convoys? Like armored convoys?
Something for them to bomb with LGBs. Then they're part of the same mission in terms of cohesion with the units. I mean, if those guys come in, we're going to have major problems.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say doomsday, but you know what I'm saying? Make it something that's got some teeth.
Let's see.
Then Apaches can get involved, Hornets can get involved, Vipers can get involved, and make them moving so that it's easier for them to be found with ground moving radar, you know, because that works really well. You've got all your templates already made. Oh, I'm so jealous. You spent a lot of time building those.
Look, it's just over time. I really haven't. It doesn't take long to build them. Hold on, I gotta let my dog out. I can still chill. Amateur hour, I swear. It's my first podcast. No, I mean I've collected those templates. Like I've made the templates based off of what I was putting down on a map or a mission, right? And so I just save them for future use. So making an open world map, and I'm gonna supply a base on Syria with tanks and BTRs and some air defense, right? So I set a group of 20 down, different tanks, you know, a couple T90s, T55s. I did BTRs, I did some ZU-57s. I don't do a whole lot of the Shulkas because it's just an added radar that's going to be modeled and take up space. So I'll just have them in a row. I'll have them all facing north. They're just in a direct north to south line, and they're all grouped together. Like it's all the tanks and then the BTR. Right. And so I just click that down over the base, and then I just control and then move the lead unit where I want it. And then I start just dragging units and placing them how I need them. And so it makes it a lot quicker, a lot more time efficient. I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna mute for just 1 second. Good time to go get a drink. Okay. Kurt, how much longer do you plan on staying? No, not here. Okay. Copper, you still with us?
I was in the restroom. Sorry.
It's okay. That's what I was working on. I mean, if you got, what happened? What happened? I'll be right back. Okay, I was just seeing how long you're gonna stay. I got probably about an hour left, or well, I can hang out for about another hour. I can get into a couple other things.
Whatever the other guys want to do, this is just a review for me and seeing other ways to do it and getting different ideas. I mean, I've got the basics. This is really for the other guys, for Topper.
I think Topper's asleep. Well, I'm also making a video that's gonna be online too.
Whatever you want to do.
Okay.
I can go play foothold somewhere and,
I'm back. Okay, I'm back. All right, so we're gonna do this convoy, right? So essentially, how far is that from Canada? So what we'll do is we'll have this just right here in the middle of nowhere. Make sure none of these are in trees or in buildings. So we're gonna put a waypoint. We'll do. So here's one thing too. So this is called red stack, whatever. Over here under type, we're gonna do custom. Scroll down and find red stack tanks BTR spread. Now I'm just gonna put a waypoint right here. And then here. We'll do late activation. So when I do this custom and template, theoretically, they should hold this formation as they travel. Because if you don't, you have these other options and you're somewhat limited, right? They'll hold a perfect line abreast, cone V. So that's just another little trick. So we'll do late activation. We'll go in here. Do it under here so it'll spawn in a little bit early. We'll do new group activate. Oh, see, that's where I messed up. Ambush 9. That's going to be ambush 9 in. Okay, so we're going to change that. 005. Red. Okay. Take that. Control C. Do another one. Control V. Ease waypoint. So now I got a little bit of a pincer. This convoy's a little bit closer. This one's a little bit further out. So I don't know how we're going to notice it, but I have to have something like, oh, intel. We've got armored Al Qaeda convoys heading into the landing zone, and I'll figure something out. So those are late activated. Just make sure these guys are kind of in the. Don't be in the house. Don't be on the house. So those are late activated. I've got to go add one to our
Be red convoy, won't it?
So what did I put down that was an extra? 9. What is it? Oh yeah, I see. Okay, Control S.
Polly's in here now.
I see.
Yeah, I'm just listening in.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, if you say so.
Hey, we have to be nice. We're streaming. I've been warned.
Oh. Hi, folks. Welcome to the Texas Special Mission Editing Suite Extravaganza.
There you go. Now everybody
We're-
thinks we're legit.
We're going to teach you all how to do the video game thing with the pointer and the scratcher button thing.
Yeah.
By the way, this is great for marriage therapy too.
And it's spawned in and
How come that one stopped?
because the leader.
What the hell's a cobra?
That's one of those little.
It's like a APC gun on the top.
Oh, the European program.
Got Russian writing on it. It looks scary. We better get the Ukrainians to help us blow it up.
So. All right. So that takes care of close air support. We can have CAS aircraft going, or Vipers or somebody searching for those.
Yeah, with a bunch
Now-
of LGBs.
Now let's do a precision strike. So let's see. Do can't bash. See if I can find some village up here. Let's do that. Do static. And I'm going to use a neutral coalition for these. Structure. Do 20-foot container. All right, now it's like, which house do we want to blow up? Let's do this one. Put him a little container in the backyard full of C4 explosives.
Hope the neighborhood knows it's about to get beachfront property.
Do 0, 40 target. Roll. Do 1 there. So now I got my little containers down there. I got 4. New. 1. Target. Targets, no regrets. So, unit damage. You see why I number everything? 1. Explode unit.
To 1,000.
Yeah. 1,000's pretty good. 10,000. So the first 2 will do 1,000. Okay. Now, since these are in separate places, 3, we're gonna go ahead and we'll just add a 0. 10,000. Okay. So here we go. I do this. Get me a little Max Pro. So I'm gonna move this temporarily. Scoot him back just a scoot. Go ahead. 1, do 2. I'm gonna delete these. These are for testing purposes. Gotta move this one too, because I need distance. You have to be careful with this. They'll vaporize your helicopters if they're flying over stuff like this. Oh,
Will the MRAP shoot them even though they're neutral coalition?
no. And here's why. I don't want it to. Let's show you 1,000. So, yeah, that's 1,000, right? Oh, it's behind that wall. Okay. Oh, we saw 1,000 with that. I'll go show you 10,000. I get in the habit of doing neutral coalition for the containers because if I put like say I have a blue convoy rolling through here, right? I don't want them to engage that container that's randomly sitting there.
Copy.
They will engage the containers. That's like that's 10,000. It took out the city block.
There's your frame rate.
3/4 of the village. Yeah, but if you're dropping a bomb on that at 35,000 feet, it's not gonna do very much frame rate wise. I don't think. And then that place is gone. What'd you hit? Well, we hit an IED manufacturing plate facility and hit the explosives, and it took out the city block. Look, you can see the other block, the other village over there. So, and then essentially you just put your flight group down and you put your waypoints down. I will go in. Let's just go look at one of these other targets. Why is there motion at my gate?
You were talking about IEDs and the Fed showed up. Yeah, 'cause I lost audio.
I've been gone, haven't I? I forgot.
Yes. I thought it was I thought it was me.
Yeah.
Sorry. I opened up my Blink app to check my camera, and I forgot it kicks me off Discord, but doesn't it shows that I'm still on and talking, kind of. All right. So what I was showing here in the video that I cut out, um, what I would do is like if this is the cast flight, I would give them a couple waypoints right here as starting points. Like, hey, Intel says if we're gonna get contact, heavier contact coming in to back up this contact, it's gonna come from the northeast and the west or northwest. And the waypoints is right on the path, but this gives them a couple starting points. They can kind of sit here and then orbit and extend out as they orbit. Or you can say, hey, you're going to search between these two waypoints and locate any enemy convoys between those two waypoints. And if you don't have these and it's just like, hey guys, you expect something from the north, southeast, or whatever, it kind of makes it not playable for everybody. Giving a couple reference waypoints right here makes it a little bit more well-rounded uh, with all the experience levels. So a guy that's kind of green, but he can find two waypoints and slew between them, he can still get in and drop some bombs versus the guy that's super experienced, someone that can get in the Viper and use the radar, find him and whatnot. Is there anything that you've seen in past missions or you want to know how to do on Mission Knitter that I might be able to answer or show you? Either of you?
I didn't know how to do the SOF teams, and you just showed me how. So
Yeah. Also too, so say like we disembark, right? Let's do this. Let's finish this out. So we're gonna do a hold, right? Set option. Form task. Hold. Stop condition. User is flag. We'll do flag 4. And then we're gonna set that in. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm jumping. So we set him hold on waypoint 5, so he's gonna go there and hold. Now let's do an exfil. So give him waypoint. Ah, come on. Got it. Waypoint 6, 0.7, waypoint 8. Do just hold so he doesn't move. So now I'm gonna go back and do SOF exfil. Flag is true. Flag, what was it, 4? That's how short term my memory is. Group. Wait. Getting ahead of myself. Radio. From group. Third one. SOF. All right. So I got my radio. Clone. Flag is true. To. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, what was that? Shoot, I've completely lost my train. So 13 radio. Dude. Oh, I'm having a brain complication. Sure. Jesus, I'm having brain. What was I doing? Let's just do a timed hold. Because I mean, essentially, it's not a big deal. So do time hold. We'll do 2 minutes on the ground. Make sure that's 2 minutes on the ground. And oops, sorry, getting a little scattered.
You want them to hold at waypoint 2?
Yes. So, because this guy is coming to take this corner, this guy's going to stay here and hold 2 minutes. And then gotta give this guy 3 points out. So now I'm starting the exfil, and I'm gonna have to do this for the Rangers as well. So let's see, we got that guy. This guy. Isn't there one more dude? Oh yeah. This guy. This dude. Oh. There it is. So now, shoot. So now, radio item at X 1 5 4 3 deactivate. So now I'll have the option. Oh, that's not done. See, I messed up. No one caught it. 5 4. So now essentially, when I see these guys making their way back here, when they're gathered here, I can land in the Gazelle and I'll go to my comms menu, F10, and then I can hit the SOF exfil, and these guys will deactivate. And even if they get stuck in here, I can still deactivate them and remove them.
Right.
So now the Rangers though. So the Rangers, we're gonna do this. The Rangers are gonna go to the north side of it. Hold. Stop condition. 4 minutes. 3 minutes. We'll do 3 minutes. Ooh, nuts. Off-road. Right there. Task. Embark to transport. CHF. And these Rangers, we're going to have them run back this way. See, add hold. So you'll do 4 minutes. I'll delay it just a little bit in case we have multiple guys fly. So that is hold. So we'll do, oh, I gotta add some waypoint. Okay, so now I'm gonna go here back to my CH-47. I'm gonna add zero one mark small and then cam. So save. So now this guy should exfil, right? So now we're gonna add a little bit of special. That one, too big. Wait, no, shit, 50. We'll just do 50. Rangers Smokel. Do the Ranger group. Marker. Do smoke. Do light since it's nighttime anyway. So
Don't forget to set the altitude on your smoke.
don't need to. So when you add altitude, that means it'll start smoking at like 10 feet above the ground.
Oh, okay.
If I leave it at 1, it'll be like a smoke canister on the ground.
Oh, I thought it was how high it would go.
No, that's the height that it starts at.
Copy that.
Okay. So let's also do a signal flare so that the guys can see signal flare. And then we're just going to do that one set of Rangers. That's it, because we don't need it to smoke and signal flare. Oh, I'll do this though. Let's do this to add a little bit to it. So we'll tell the Chinook guys when you get the signal flare, Chinook 1 can go in and land. When you get the second, no. Okay. So now when these Rangers exfil, they'll run through here and they're going to trigger a smoke and signal flare on this trigger zone right here. I think. Is that how I got it set up? Nope, I messed up. So part of Rangers in zone. There we go. So I had to set that to the smoke trigger. So now it's set. Okay. Save. And that's the cool thing. So like if these guys didn't get shot right, they're gonna be firing over the AO, but the Chinooks we're just gonna be out of their reach. So they come
Right.
in and land right here. They may have bullets whizzing by, but they may not get directly shot at. And it kind of gives them a little bit more excitement landing in a hot LZ. Of course, if these guys get close enough, they will shoot them, be in range. So then, okay, so one thing, I have the troops disembarking right here. So now I have to add waypoints back at the base or they'll spawn in back at that site. So I'm gonna just put one there. So essentially when the Chinooks get back to Kandahar, if they disembark them at Kandahar, the troops will walk out right here. If I don't put an end waypoint, when they disembark the troops, if they do decide to do it, they will go back to this point right here, and then they're just stuck there.
Okay.
So, off. Oops. So Control S. All right, so now the Rangers are done, the Special Forces are done. Essentially, we would have the strike flight done up there. Got close air support. So let's do this. I can't spell right. The side. Right. One. F-16, you say. Okay. 56 to 100 miles. I'll say 25 feet. 0.90. Just do that. Outfit them a little bit. Go in here. Edit. Max range long. I'm going to change cap. Search and engage in zone. Change this to like 2 billion. 2 minutes. Perfect. So take that off of there. Include all the aircraft. Max range launch. I'm gonna go ahead and add it.
Hey, Tex, I gotta go. Thanks
Yeah.
for the showing me all this stuff. Very
You're
informative.
welcome. You're welcome, man. Thanks for
Okay,
joining.
yeah.
No problem.
Good to see you, Topper.
All right, have a good night,
Reaction.
guys.
So reaction to threat, we're gonna do evasive vertical maneuver. So they'll actually defend. So I'm gonna go ahead and also do unlimited fuel. I don't want them running out of fuel getting to the fight. Unlimited fuel on individual aircraft has to go to the top right here. So it has to be set to number. One thing I kind of do to help out a little bit, set option, radar using for continuous search. So they'll turn the radar on, they'll always have it on, and the guys, if they don't have it on data link AWACS, they'll at least get a RWR contact, and it helps them out a little bit. All right, so we do late activation, waypoint 1 right here. Do waypoint 2, waypoint 3. Go back to waypoint 2. I'm going to add orbit just in case. So this is late activation. Let's say we'll do a pair of them. Leave it at that. So we've got 2 Pakistani F-16s. These are on late activation. We're going to do, let's go ahead and Group active. Program. Seven. Okay. So now when he gets into here, they've already exploded the wall. This flight will spawn in. And hopefully it'll spawn and fly up here, then fly up. But if they're going to be in that zone, let me go ahead and move. So there's that, and then if I wanted to copy paste these guys from the north, do two F-16s out of the north.
Then you're gonna have a cap flight.
Well, think about it, and if you know what happened on the Bin Laden raid, or even if it was just the movie, but the packs, shit started going down in their country, and they scrambled F-16s to head out. So this is essentially what's happening. We're making noise on the border. The Pakistanis don't know what's going on, but they're going to scramble the F-16s. I have a small margin of search and zone. So I like search and zone better. Search and engage in zone. So if you have AWACSs and stuff or guys outside of the zone, they're not going to look at them and fly across your map because they see a juicy AWACS over here, right? They're going to hunt. They're going to hunt only in this zone, and then if you restrict them to their waypoints, they're going to fly their waypoints and only look for stuff in this zone. So when you do like footholds or not footholds, but like base captures and stuff, if you do one, you can do stuff like this, or even in your normal missions. I always do search, then engage in zone. And I take helicopters off. I don't care how unrealistic it is. I'm not flying from here to here to get shot down by an F-16. It's just not worth it. So this is going to give the cap guys something to do. I don't want the helicopters getting fucking blasted. Oh, I shouldn't curse, but I don't want the helicopters getting blasted by aircraft. It happens in foothold. That sucks. You fly 80 clicks in an Apache and get shot down by a Su-33. That's not fun.
Right.
So limit this, take off helicopters, UAVs, max range launch. That's it. So I gotta add that one to the list. Where did and so let's also, what was that ran? I ran some. Let's do this. We're gonna do a third flight. What other aircraft? Oh, JF-17. I didn't think about it. Well, I'm gonna delete that. So we're gonna do a third flight. One last.
You could still just copy the others and just edit the JF-7 aircraft type, right?
Yep, that's what I'm doing. So a copy, I brought it back down to a single. We're going to do JF-17s. Thing out. Let's see. We're going to do. Red Cat. Let's do Group Dead. Hot Flight 2. So this might be a flight that we don't even engage. If they get the 2 Vipers or the 4 Vipers knocked out, and we get the team picked up and we're exfilling, we can all leave the area, and this flight won't cross the border. Well, theoretically, won't cross the border. So now we got Vipers. So when this group is dead, this last group of 4 JF-17s will spawn in. So let me go ahead and turn this up. Let's do 0, 9. And that's it. So that's a pretty simple mission. You know, you can have the strike up here for other guys, but you've got a helo snatch and grab. You've got a little bit of cap. Got a little bit of a convoy hunt. Got a little bit of close air support right here, and you have a little bit of logistics. That's it. Save. All right. I think that's about it for tonight.
All right, sounds good.
Let's see.
So all we really have to do to make this flyable is just add the rest of the aircraft.
Yeah, I got to put in a strike, and you know this might be something we can run on a weeknight.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think
All right,
that's
man.
gonna do it for tonight.
All right, man. Good night. Thanks, Tex.
You're welcome.